So now what do we have to do? We have to create a new movie, meaning that we need to submit the form, this form. So it will be relatively easy to do. At first, we need to be able to retrieve this form in JavaScript. So let's add this form an ID, and the ID we're going to add is an ID of movie form. So now we can switch to JavaScript and retrieve this form. So let's create a constant that we decide to name movie form, and we're going to retrieve it by using a querySelector of want to retrieve something that has an ID. So we use the pound sign for ID, and it has an ID of movie-form. Movie-form. Let's close these other files. So now we have this form, and we want to listen to the submit event. So to add an event listener on the movie form, we simply use the add event listener function. So what do we want to listen to? We want to listen to a submission of this form. So we use the submit event. So when this form is submitted, what do you want to do? We want to call a function that we will create in a minute that will be called add movie, simply. So let's create this function and name it add movie. So this movie will have access to the submit event, because this is called when a submit occurs. So the event that we have access to is the submit event. Why is it important? Because we don't want, when we click, you see, when you click on submit, it refreshes on the page. We don't want to see this flashing, and this is the default way that a movie is handled. So we want to prevent the default way. So we simply call this, take this submit event, and we mention that we want to prevent the default behavior. So now when you click on submit, you see there is no more refresh and no more flashing. So now it's time to retrieve every field, so we can retrieve what the user has typed. But first, as we will use a FormData, we need to add a name. So you see it was first I thought we would need only the ID that is attached to the label for, but to retrieve the data, now in JavaScript we will need to use a name on each and every field. So the first one we'll have, where are we? We're inside the movie title. We'll have a name of title. Here I use title of movie title, title. The next one we'll have a name of year, just like that. For the duration we will have also a name of duration. The genre, you see, you guessed it, we'll have a name of genre, and that's it. This is all we need. So now we can retrieve the data inside a FormData constant, simply because it will be an instance. We use the new keyword of a FormData, and this FormData needs to know which movie it should retrieve the data from. So we know it's the movie that we retrieved here using a querySelector, so we pass it this movie form. And now, just to make sure that everything is going smoothly, let's just console.log this FormData. So let's type, we don't really care about, let's go for 15, add action comedy, add a movie. We can see we have this FormData. So at least we have a FormData, but we still don't have the data. Why is that? Simply because you need to get this data. And how you do that, I'm glad you asked, because it's simple. You just have, for example, to retrieve the title, you just have to use this FormData, and to get, using the get function, the title. Simply, why title? Because we named it title right here. So we see on line 22 it's named title. So we just pass title. So now let's just console.log the title, make sure that we're on the right track. So let's put a title of AZD. Now we have a title of AZD, it works. So we can do the same for the other fields. We want to retrieve the year of the movie. So you know the drill now. You can take the form data. You want to get, so you use the get method. What do you want to get? You want to get the year. Why is it the year? Simply because here you have a name of year on line 31. Just like that. What else? We want the duration of the movie. The duration. So again, form data. You want to get a duration. What else? Now the genres. The genres are specific because you know you can retrieve several genres. So you still take your form data, but instead of using get, you use getAll because you can grab several genres. So you will see immediately why. So if you console.log now the title, the year, the duration, and the genres. What do we have? A title, a year, a duration. Let's go for comedy, drama. So now you can see that you have AZD, which is the title, the year, 1901, the duration, and now as we used getAll, you have an array. Instead of just a string, you have an array of strings. So if we decided to choose this, it would be a super weird movie, but let's go for it. You see, it retrieves the 5 genres.